Hey guys, welcome back. Wanted to show you, did a couple little changes, have some ideas here in Wilderness Springs. I went ahead and removed Lucy's dive coaster for now. It's kind of like she said, it's almost, this is just too small of an area to try to fit that dive coaster in. So I'm thinking maybe we do something else over here. Maybe if we do like some kind of kiddie coaster over here and maybe another flat ride, or you know, maybe turn more of the village over on this side. But yeah, the drop for the drop coaster, just it was kind of over here where the guests wouldn't actually be able to see it. And I tried flipping it and bringing it over this way a little bit, but still just didn't seem right. I think we need to kind of go back to the drawing board with that area of Rivertown Junction and see if we can come up with something. I mean, a wonderful little piece of land here, but that's just the thing. It's a very little piece of land. You've got the railroad kind of bordering the land over off to the left here. And then you can't go much further than that just because you've got the new layout for Grizzly Peak mining expedition over here. It's just, there's just not a lot of room to work with. And then when you talk about you know, the end of the park essentially being back here and Enchantorium's backstage area, it's just doesn't leave us a lot of room to work back there. So we'll keep looking at that. But the main point of this video is I really want Frontier, kind of like they did with, you know, with the different iterations of Planet Zoo, where remember when they went in, you guys have to correct me if I'm wrong, but remember at the beginning of Planet Zoo, you were locked with your terrain paints. So whatever map you picked, this is what you were locked into. But I want to say later on, they went back in and actually made it to where you could customize your terrain paints. Like when you went in to start the map, you could pick and choose which ones you wanted. It wasn't just locked to a certain map style. Like, you know, this mountain map here and those styles that I just showed you. I was thinking that if we could do that and we could come in and edit those terrain map styles, I could make this little area, which I was thinking, I'll show you in a minute when I was doing kind of like my Disney River Country type testing. I was like, man, if I had that type of sand over here, we could make this look so much more believable. And what I'm talking about real quick is this little guy. Like I said, this isn't, I just kind of like some ideas I'm fooling around with, like building a mom and pop type Disney River Country vibe in Planet Coaster 2. But look at this sand. And you'll notice on this map, look at all these options: rock, gravel, pebbles, scree. That is just so much like, you know, what I'm aiming for. And even look how I can change it as it, like the water gets a little deeper. You can change out and just, there's so many awesome little sand textures on this map. This is, like I said, it's just little, it's like a little test thing I was doing, but that terrain is, I think it's awesome. It's exactly what I need in Wilderness Springs to give it that natural lake look like you would want. See that sand, how you can kind of change it? And then, you know, I kind of get down here into the scree a little bit, but up here is like the sand and the pebbles. Like, I really like that texture, and we can't do it in Wilderness Springs. Those, you know, if I would have known, I'd have probably built Wilderness Springs on this map. But you have to remember, that was kind of like pre-release. I loved that mountain type view, and I just didn't have the forward thinking of looking at the terrain paints. And if I would have, you know, honestly, truly honestly, if I wouldn't have got so deep into it before I really started thinking, well, I need some different terrain paint, I probably never would have started Wilderness Springs on that map. I would have started it on this one, because this map leads right into kind of, you know, where my style ended up going. I mean, even over here, if I could get some of that changed, I could make this look better. But dang, I really, really hope, Frontier, if you're listening to this, or if any of your designers or artists or producers are watching this, think about bringing us the option to customize our terrain paints. Really would be awesome if I could go in and, you know, even if you can't give us all the terrain paints, let me swap some of these out. Like I said, like I believe you did in Planet Zoo. But other than that, guys, not a whole lot going on in Wilderness Springs. You know, the biggest change, like I said, I had to remove Lucy's dive coaster. Still just kind of continuing, tweaking Grizzly Peak over here. Like we said last time, I got the brake run a little better, so they're not slamming back into the station. I don't know. I think the pacing is a lot better. Let's just see if we can just ride it. Oh yeah, he's right up here. Pacing's a lot better than that first iteration, but by no means, you know, finished or ready. So definitely just take this as a work in progress. But check this out. You don't have that crazy stoppage now. Remember how before it was just when I tried to do the, when I was trying to do the switch track that brought you back into the mountain, it was killing all the momentum of the coaster. And now I just feel, you know, for my standards and what I'm capable of, I just feel this is a lot smoother, and the pacing is just so much better now. Like, see, even that little part is a lot smoother. And then you go into like a more natural of what you would believe you'd see brake run, and then slowly brings you back here into the station. So, you know, it's just work. We're still looking at some things, still trying some things out. Got that pretty smooth. That would definitely be a pump you back in the seat there. But, you know, also too, we're thinking, you know, Big Bear mountain style thrill. Remember I said a couple episodes ago, you're kind of wanting your Grizzly Peak to be an all family coaster, you know, like we mentioned, but possibly pushing it a little bit for the grandparents, but certainly the teens, tweens, parent, you know, mom and dad, could definitely, I think, have a good time on Grizzly Peak. And like we mentioned, kind of coming back over here to the water park, I was thinking about giving the water park area its own little natural pool area, like there was a lake over here at one time. And you know, you've got this, but I was also thinking maybe we could do that over here, like maybe have a which you know we had toyed about before, but maybe having a natural lake area over here, because you would think like a mountain style resort like this, it wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility to have it sit on, you know, its own little lake. We could put slides back here. I think there's a bunch of interesting things we could do. Some rough water and that green out of there. Maybe bring the some of that tree line closer to the edge. You know, something like that. Just make it look like it has like a large pond, recreation, small lake area. Sometimes I can get a better view if you hit T on your keyboard and kind of zoom way up here and turn around, you get like a larger view of the area. Let's see if we can get a good afternoon shot. There we go. Yeah, I don't think the lake looks too bad right there. Kind of, you know, bounces off of the resort. Pretty cool. But, you know, there are things we could, you know, little things we could put over there on the lake as well. This has just turned into, I know a lot of you guys are probably like, you know, some of you guys probably hear Wilderness Springs and it's just eye rolling at this point, but it is just such a fun project. It's like, I very rarely get bored with it. You know, I know we eventually need to move on to some other things, but it is just a really fun project that has kind of evolved with the DLCs and the different little builds we do. You know, we think we're done with it, and then a new DLC comes out, and we're like, hey, wait a minute, we could use that in Wilderness Springs. What if we do this new land? Get you a good shot of Enchantorium over here, looking lovely in the afternoon sun. Hop on over to Rivertown Junction. Very, very cool little area. Newest area of the park, if you've followed along on this. You know, some kind of drop tower would look really cool right here. Kind of like, you know, how Sawmill is right there. Even like a style that I have over there in Grizzly Valley, the Toy Box airdrop, or that same ride, but just not Toy Box themed. This little guy, just a regular airdrop. Something like that could be cool back here. One of these styles. Or, you know, we got rid of the Chairplane back in the day. Remember, that used to sit kind of over here where the Thunder Rail stage is. That sat right there, way back in the early iterations of Wilderness Springs. But, you know, like I mentioned, maybe we could get some flat rides over here, you know, just something of more interest, you know. Maybe even could theme it to Rivertown Junction. Lots of ideas, but I really like the idea of another coaster over here. And, you know, this, I did want to scrap the idea where you guys were saying there's really no need to be able to walk all the way around that. Maybe able to bring the train a little closer over here and give us a little more breathing room for one more coaster. I don't even know if some of you guys even said we should do a competition, like a coaster competition over here. The only reason I didn't want to do that though is because, you know, we were trying out Lucy's dive coaster, and I didn't want to just delete that and then automatically bring somebody else's in. I was just kind of trying to see if we had anything that would kind of fit this vibe over here. Of course, I still have that I have that really cool wing coaster by Yan as well that he did for me way back in the day, but that guy that's a pretty big guy, so I don't think it would probably wouldn't fit over here, but I'm keeping that in my back pocket. Definitely keeping my God, look how massive some of these are. Definitely keeping Lucy's drop coaster in, you know, in my closet over here to be used at a later date. One, you know, something like this little guy probably wouldn't even be bad either. But I'm kind of looking for, more smaller footprint. You guys know I've just got no credibility when it comes to building coasters. Here's a coaster that we did in Hidden Hollow. That little guy technically could get in here and dig that trench out a little bit. You know, something like that's kind of encroaching on the train. Move some of these trees. Different things. Yeah, I could go into my Hidden Hollow map and take this out, and we could have us a little invert in the park. I mean, you know, Rivertown Junction could sport a smaller invert like this with the log flume ride. I mean, that footprint, I don't hate it. And the path is already coming out this way, so if we theme it to, like, you know, Sawmill, we could continue the path out this way to the station. And maybe even if we don't do some landscaping through here, maybe room for one more flat. And the cool thing about this is too, it's not so imposing that it takes you know, it takes over the sight lines from Legend of Thunder Falls. You know, if you have a real big giant coaster over here, you know, it can be a little over empowering for what is arguably, you know, the e-ticket, the reason for the land being over here. Yeah, guys, I might have discovered kind of what we need to do just fooling around with you guys over here. We might have to just get us Hidden Hollows invert over here. And that way too, we can, the park can boast another coaster instead of being a little lackluster on the coaster count. That can really come in here and I think round the park out better. So, you guys let me know what you think. But I think that could work. And then, you know, of course, I would get it all filled in and we would get the foliage work and the rain work. But anyways, all right. Well, you guys just let me know what you're thinking. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video and pass that idea to Frontier. Pass along that idea to them from me and tell them we need the ability to swap out terrain paint. So, yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to jump off here and do a little work, and I'll catch you in the next video.